Hey everyone, we are live. I'm Shannon Golladay. Happy Wednesday to you. We are reading Coffee Self Talk. So we broke this book into four parts, and so today we are reviewing pages 1 through 58. So I'd love to say hi. I'd love to see who is watching this live or watching the replay. Go ahead and post in the comments where you're tuning in from. So I'm Shannon. I'm here in Utah, and we this is the second time we've read this. So I just thought the message was so powerful that we wanted to read it again, and we wanted to share again. So I'm sorry, I'm jumping on a little bit later than I planned on, because it's our daughter's 12th birthday today. So exciting times today. But I'm excited to share this with you and to hear your thoughts as well. So go ahead and post in the comments, post where you're tuning in from. Here in Utah, and I have lots of notes to share with you. Grab a pen and a notebook, and I would love to hear from you along the way. Even if you're watching the replay, I'll come back and check the comments. And so today we're going to talk about, like I said, pages 1 through 58. And so in the intro, um, she talks about champagne problems. So post in the comments if you are over 40. Raise your hand. So I am over 40, and I related with what she shared in the intro. She talked about, it's so easy when we've accomplished a lot of our goals. And oh, hello, Elaine from Arizona. She's over 40. Welcome. Great to see you here. So it's so easy to, kind of lose our magic, lose the purpose. And she talks about she wanted to travel to escape from life because she just felt no sense of purpose or direction. She had a positive attitude, but she was missing something. She was missing that magic. And I think it's easy to get there. I think we go through cycles in our lives where sometimes we're like full of motivation, full of purpose, full of drive, and other times we kind of lose that magic and we lose that excitement for our lives and for what's going on. And so, she talked about she let worry and anxiety grip her heart. And so, for the first 6 months of her travel, she relied upon gratitude, meditation, to get her to be out of bed and get going. She had this breakdown, and she had this lack because of lack of focus and direction. And I just think this is so relatable because it's so easy to do that. It's so easy to just kind of lose that excitement, lose that sparkle. And so I love this because that's how it kind of sets up the book. And she talks about, from the moment she wrote this, she's had the most amazing transformation. And she found her spirit, her focus, her shining light, and she soars like an eagle. So it's pretty incredible to see that transformation. And I think we can all have that transformation. I know for me personally, this is something I really struggle with even today. I was just kind of beating myself up, getting ready for this call because I'm like, oh man, I'm late for the call. And, just being so hard on myself. Like, how often do we do that? And, just taking a step back and saying, okay, it's my daughter's birthday. I needed to help her with some things. I just got a late start, and yeah. So like let's be a little kinder to ourselves. So jumping right into chapter 1, she talks about what is coffee self-talk. And I know when we first did this, um the I had a comment on one of our videos that, promoting coffee, and it's not necessarily promoting coffee, it's promoting the idea of the self-talk. So every day, we drink something. And so post in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. Like, do you like to start your day with water? Do you have a certain tea? Do you have a pre-workout? Do you have a drink that you love to start your day with? And so the idea is that, you're taking 5 minutes a day and you're drinking something. So, I love to drink water first thing, have my water. I love pre workout first thing to jump into my workout. Um, but just thinking of a drink that you love, and so starting your day off with that drink, and then while you're drinking that drink, on page 8, I loved this. I just want to read this. It says, what is self-talk? So self-talk is simply the words you say or think to yourself. It's your inner voice, it's your inner dialogue. Sometimes it's spoken, sometimes it's silent, sometimes you're aware of it, usually you're not until you are. This book will help you with that. Self-talk is essentially the dialogue you run about yourself, the way you think about you, the things you do. Your self-talk is the way you see yourself and the way you refer to yourself. And so, um, okay, awesome. Elaine, thank you so much. She says she has water first and then pre-workout and then recover. That's similar to me. I love doing that as well. So when you can decide which drink you want to pick, but you would essentially pick one drink that you're having at the same time. So it becomes like a ritual. And while you're doing it, most of us aren't used to being nice to ourselves. Like I say, I really struggle with this, and it's so easy to be so mean to ourselves. And so during this time, while you're drinking your drink, you're going to become your own, she talks about, you become your own BFF, and that's when the magic starts, and that's when the real transformation begins. And so, when you're first starting this book, just evaluating like what you're telling yourself. So, going through your day, realizing what you're saying to yourself, and thinking, like, would I say that to my child? Would I say that to my friend? A lot of times, like the words we say to ourselves, we wouldn't share with anyone else. We wouldn't say those things because, that's mean and that's harmful. And so, um, yeah, so thinking of just going into my notes here. So she talks about, now is the time to come alive. Now is the time to fly with her. So, this is a powerful, life changing routine that only takes 5 minutes a day. It boosts our self esteem, it attracts the life you've always dreamed of. You're going to feel more whole, feel more worthy. And so it's very simple to do, but it's also simple not to do. And I noticed for me too, like, I can do this amazing morning routine and then I can like do something and like, oh my gosh, I failed at this, and just be so hard on myself. And so it takes practice, just like, riding a bike, just like exercising. We have to continuously do this. And if our mind is trained, if our mind is trained to be mean to ourselves, then it's going to take time to retrain our minds. Okay, so she talks about, our daily self talk advantage is powerful for spinning happiness into your life while also bringing you closer to your goals, resolutions, and dreams. Okay, so I want to hear in the comments, like, what are some of your goals? What are some of your dreams? Like, do you have goals with your wellness being, with your health and fitness? Do you have goals, financial goals? Do you have, here's my dream board for 2023? Like, what are some goals that you're working towards? Because we've talked about this a little bit last time. Like a lot of times we put our foot on the gas. We're like, yes, I want to go for the goals, but then we also have our foot on the brake, saying, but you can't do this. You're not good enough. And so it keeps us stuck if we have the foot on the gas and the foot on the brake at the same time. So we have to let go on the brake and put full throttle on the gas. So thinking, she talks about, when life throws us curveballs, we're going to get lots of curveballs thrown at us. And so instead of, it hitting us in the face, pulling us down, we bob and weave. I love that. Like talking about like bobbing and weaving, because we can respond better and stronger and faster. And it gets us back to happiness, a state of, moving forward. And so powerful. Okay, so she talks about, is self talk just positive thinking? Well, self talk helps you create new beliefs, better beliefs, and strengthen us, the ones we want to reinforce. Okay, so Elaine says she has a health goal. She wants to lose 60 pounds and 40 of them by the end of the year. That's so awesome. So thank you for sharing that, Elaine. I love hearing your goals. And if you're watching the replay as well, please post in the comments. Love hearing these goals. Okay, so Elaine, evaluate your goal. So thinking of your goal of where you want to go. So Think of where you want to go with this goal of losing weight, and then think of what you're telling yourself in your mind. Like, are you telling yourself, like, you are amazing, you can do this? Because I know for me, it's so easy to tell you that you're incredible, that you're amazing, that you can absolutely do this. But thinking of your mind, are you telling yourself that you believe that you can do this, that this is possible, that you have got this? What are you telling yourself? And so it's just so powerful, like, when we think of, here's our goal, here's what we're telling ourselves. And because we shouldn't rely on outside forces. Like, sometimes people are going to be cheering us on, sometimes people are not going to be cheering us on, but we need to be our number one, like she talks about, our number one BFF, and help us. It's so much more than just positive self-talk. Like, it's so much more than just being positive. It is changing our mind. It's rewiring our beliefs, are strengthening the ones that we want to reinforce. Okay, and so strive for the upside. Like, if we're worried about, like, okay, we want to, like, for example, weight loss. I love that goal. I have a weight loss goal as well. So I currently want to lose 15 pounds. Working on our weight loss goal. So are we working towards them, or are we self-sabotaging ourselves and saying, like, well, you tried before, you can't do it, or just beating ourselves up, so thinking about that. Okay, so she talks about, truly confident people don't brag. They feel no need to, nor do they crave attention. um, I liked this thought. Like, whenever you see somebody exhibiting those traits, like, because I've seen people where I'm like, wow, they're so confident, like, they're saying how amazing they are, but a lot of times they just have a frightened ego and they're seeking external validation. It's based on fear. So self love is the opposite. And so when we have that self love, because I know I've been there where I'm like, oh, done this and this, and like I start talking myself up, but like inside I'm like, really I'm struggling with my own self-love. And so thinking of, like, self-love is the opposite. Self-love, we don't need to brag, like, we just feel worthy inside. And I that's really challenging to have that inside. I know, like I say, for me, I struggle with this. And so on page 14, she talks about these statements that we can have. So I am beautiful, I am brave, I love me, I'm magnificent, I'm magical, whatever we want to become. And taking it a step further, it talks a little bit about this later. And then also, my mentor Elaine and I work together, and we have the same mentor Josh, and he talks about because affirmations. And I started adding those to my daily routine. And whenever I do them, I'm like, oh my gosh, my mind is so much stronger. So if we want to lose weight, we could say, because I am capable of losing weight, I will lose 40 pounds by the end of the year, whatever you want to accomplish. So you take whatever your goal you want, like, I will lose this weight, or whatever you want. And then you put a because, like, because, and you can think about what you want to say, but putting the because, like, it makes it more realistic in your mind. Because sometimes you might think, oh, this is impossible, but you add the because. Or you could say, because I have all the tools and the support I need, I will lose weight by the end of the year. Okay, so once you've programmed your brain to believe and feel, so just even feel the thoughts such as these, they will become internalized and manifest in all sorts of ways, some of which will be apparent to the world, many which will not, because it will be our own internal, blissful, happy, magical state. And so, like I mentioned, I really liked how she said, like, externally, like, especially with our social media world, like, it's so easy to be so hard on ourselves. Like, maybe we put out a post and we poured our heart and soul into it, and no one likes it, no one comments on it. We need to get to a place where we love ourselves and we are celebrating ourselves so much that that external validation isn't needed. Okay. And so going into, she talks about, positive or negative self talk. It really affects us. How do you speak to yourself? We talked about that. Here's a quote: give life to your dreams, give strength to your visions, and give light to your path. So that's from Shad Helmstetter. So it's basically a choice. It's a choice if we have good or bad self talk. And we can take that self talk, we can have it with our health, with our money, having more confidence, whatever we want to improve in our life. Um, and so she said, at first we probably won't believe it, but over time we will. And so as we start, like, and she also talks about, like, she was a harsh critic of herself, and she counted far more negative comments and thoughts about herself and the world in general. It could be about anything: gray hair, wrinkles, frumpy looking clothes, food she was eating, finances, energy level, circumstances, people around me. And she was a generally positive person, or she thought, and that's how I related with that a lot. So I'm like, I feel like I'm a positive person, but I found a lot to complain about myself, especially. And so just realizing, like, that can be holding us back from reaching our goals. It can be holding us back from truly making the impact, truly doing what we want in this world. Um, okay, so she said she cut out all negative talk and replaced it with all positive words. I mean, that's pretty incredible. How I mean, that's a big challenge, and I say that's the challenge of the day, is to try it for 24 hours. Notice for 24 hours, not just what we say, but what we think. So maybe even taking your journal, and for 24 hours, I would love to hear this, and I'll post this in our Facebook group, the 24-hour challenge. Um, so, uh, okay, awesome. Yes. Elaine says this is a big challenge for me as well. Small steps. Oh my gosh. Yeah, we've got this. So, it will be incredible to see how we do in the 24 hours, and then even like every day, small steps, like Elaine said, because sometimes it can be overwhelming to try it for a week or a month, but like, let's try it for a day. Okay, when you have positive self-talk all the time, it's like super protective, nutrient dense, vitamin infusing your body with golden healing essence. So awesome. Okay, and it's also good for our health. So if we're working on weight loss, it helps with our stress hormones. So, and stress plays a big part in our weight. So she talks about less stress, better health. So when we're speaking positively to ourselves, our stress goes down, and then we're able to lose that weight. Okay. Awesome. Thanks, Elaine. I'm excited to do this 24-hour challenge, and I appreciate all of your comments. Okay, so in summary, self talk. So, what is self talk? It's the words and thoughts we say and think to ourselves. It's our inner voice. These words have the power to help us live an amazing life. Our subconscious listens to our self talk all day, and it follows the instructions you give it through self talk. So, pay close attention if it's negative or positive, and have that 5 minute morning routine. So, basically, you're having your favorite drink, you're drinking it for 5 minutes, and you're thinking the positive self talk. So, our words and thoughts are our responsibility, no one else's. So, don't rely on outside external validation. Take control of your day by saying the right words. Want a great life? Start with the great words. Okay. So she said, on one side, she said, sounds too good to be true. It's not. It's the way we were meant to live. Imagine you're standing in front of a door. It's closed right now. On one side is your amazing life filled with light, love, confidence, excitement, shooting stars, and your dreams come true. On the other side is you. So we hold the knob. If we want to open up the door and we can get to that amazing life, it's all up to us. So I loved on page 26, she gave a little space to write some of our thoughts. So I mean, if you have the audio book, that's great too. You could just write in a notebook. So there's two questions. One is, up until now, has your self-talk been positive or negative? So you can think about that. You can write it down. Number two, is it hard for you to say positive self talk? If why? If so, why? Or is it easy for you to use positive words about yourself? Why do you think that is? So I wrote some of my thoughts. For me, it's been a mix. Like, I have to be very intentional on my positive self talk. It kind of comes and goes. So I have to be very intentional. That's why this book has been so powerful. And is it hard? Yeah, I would say it's hard for me because, I feel like I'm trying to please people. I don't know if you ever feel like this. Like, I'm trying to feel, good enough for certain people in my life, and but I liked what we talked about, like that external validation. Like, I want to get to a place where I love myself and I feel, happy and okay with myself. And then it really doesn't matter about that external validation. And we can always have positive self talk. Um, so I was actually talking. I've been working with a coach the last few weeks, and yesterday we were talking about something that's really hard for me. Something that's coming up, and I'll be in a situation where I am so mean to myself, and I'm constantly beating myself up. And so the coach asked me, what is something that I could say instead of what I usually say? Like usually, like, and I don't want to go into detail, but usually when I'm around this person, like I'm constantly feeling like, and I'm telling myself, like, you're not good enough, haven't amounted to anything, like, wow, like, I don't know, I'm just so mean to myself. I'm so mean to myself. So what did my coach ask me to say? What could I say instead in that situation? And I said, I can say, I'm proud of myself for being here. Like, this is hard for me to be here in this situation, but I'm proud of myself for being here. And wow, that's so incredible that I'm here, even though it's hard. And even though I'm trying to have these positive thoughts about myself at this time, like, great job, congratulations. And, thinking of switching my thoughts like in that moment. So maybe notice, like, when you get to that negative headspace, when you're around certain people, how can you switch the thoughts? Because we can't choose, what people say. Sometimes we can't, of course we can't choose how people are going to what they're going to say to us or how we're going to feel, but we can choose our thoughts, and we can choose how we respond, and I guess we can choose how we feel as well. So I thought that was really powerful. Okay, so chapter 2, we're about halfway through the first section. So she just talks about, the steps to do this. So you make your drink, you you're filling your brain with powerful affirmations, and then you speak them out loud. So it's super simple. Just drink, fill your mind with good positive things, and then speak them out loud. And that's it. And I think that, at the beginning, like she talked about, like, it's gonna be hard to believe it. It's really hard to believe it. But the more we do it, just the more we practice. And even if 5 minutes is a lot, maybe start with 1 minute, maybe start with 2 minutes. And she talked about why coffee, just because a lot of people love coffee in the morning, but you can use any drink. So there's 2 steps on page 29, or no, sorry, 4 steps on page 29 and 30 that talk about making this a habit. So first, give it special meaning, like make it more of a ritual in the morning, and then be consistent with it. And then also multi-sensory modalities, linking your ritual self-talk to the act of drinking coffee or whatever you drink. Like, so it's like, you're tasting it. So you're not just like thinking it, it's also a taste. And then she says joy, because let's face it, coffee is delicious. So whatever you drink, you enjoy, you feel joy, you feel happy about it. Okay, so let me see what else. Okay, moving right along. So everything we need is within us. And I think that's really powerful, because a lot of times we're looking for that external validation, like I say, like looking for someone to give us a compliment, looking for someone to say, like, good job, looking for someone to encourage us. But really we don't need that external validation. The biggest person we need it from is ourselves. Um, Okay, so making it a daily habit. And then page 35, she talked about getting a pen and paper, a journal, just or on your computer or in your notes app, and just writing these things down. So write 15 to 20 great things about yourself. Um, I think that's gonna that is a challenge for me. I know we can do this, but just thinking, like, speaking of the future as though it's the present, very important. So um writing your positive affirmations or lyrics from a song that light you up, inspiring quotes that can change, you can put into first person, use them every day, and you're free to make changes all the time. So wake up, get your delicious coffee or your drink of choice, sip it while reading your self-talk, rinse and repeat until you finish drinking it, and then enjoy that awesome day. So that's the process. And then habit stacking. So you may have heard from Atomic Habits, the stacking principle, where you have a habit that you're really good at, like brushing your teeth. You're really good at brushing your teeth, and so maybe you're going to brush your teeth, and you're saying your positive affirmations. Like you could, if you're drinking water, you could like brush your teeth, drink water, say your affirmations. But think of something that you're really good at, and then stack it onto that. Okay, so, she gave more lines over here on page 39, just talking about like what you want to say for your affirmations. Okay, so the benefits of self talk, um, creating the legendary life that you want. It juices up your life with energy and enthusiasm. It makes you shine bright. You're a magnet for everything. Just thinking, are you a magnet? Do people want to, do you attract things, people, places? Like, do you attract the good into your life, or do we repel? A lot of times, I know for me, like sometimes I'm repelling things in my life. Like I'm like, I want this, I want this, I want this, but like my thoughts are repelling whatever I want. So thinking of, are we, attracting things in our life, or are we repelling it? And so you're going to finally love yourself inside and out. Um, and she talks about this girl. She said the crazy part is, the magical part is that she actually is prettier now, literally more attractive to other people. Um, and so when we start to believe it, then we start to change, and we become the best version of ourselves. So love yourself now as you become the best version of you. Having this daily acceptance. And then it's a ticket for happiness. It will help you become happier. It will help you with resilience. Like we talked about the bob and bob weave, like as your confidence grows, then your self esteem becomes strong. You're able to, it's like you're wearing armor. And so, when you're wearing that armor, then you're able to go through the challenges easier. Um, and you can do this for anything. I kind of talked about that a little bit, creating that magical you. So she just talks about, all the things that it can help you with. So many incredible benefits. And so, what are things you want to improve or learn or change about yourself? Okay, so that's it for now. So we just under 58 pages. The next one goes into chapter 4. So we're just reading a quarter of the book. So we'll read to the halfway excuse me, we'll read to the halfway point next week, from now until next week. But our challenge for today is to do the 24-hour challenge. So thinking of your goal. So think of your goal, and you can have more than one goal, but I think it's good to just pick one main goal that you're really working towards. So whether it's a health goal, whether it's a financial goal, whether it's something with your business or your career, thinking of what your goal is. And then for 24 hours after you watch this video, so as soon as you're done watching this video, grab your notebook, and you want to take note of your thoughts for the next 24 hours. And then also add that coffee talk, where you have your favorite drink, you have your words in your mind, and then you say them out loud, those positive affirmations. And then I'd love to hear from you. I'll post the 24-hour challenge in our Facebook group, and I'd love to hear from you as well. So you can post in the comments in our Facebook group, or you're welcome to share here in the comments of this video. But thank you so much. Thank you for being here. If you're here live, I know Elaine was here live, and I saw another person here live as well. So thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you, and I'm glad we can be on this journey together. It's really hard to talk about a topic like this. Most of the time, we don't talk about things like this, like things that are really challenging and really struggling. But that's when we grow the most. That's when we learn. So I'm right here with you, working on this struggle that I have personally, and I hope that we can do this together, and we can encourage each other and help us to become the best versions of ourselves. So, if you know anyone who wants to be a part of this book, like I say, we're just getting started reviewing this book for the next month. There's a link in the comments, shannonsbookclub.com. Go ahead and add your email, and you can become a part of our Facebook group and get some text messages. But I'm happy to support and help you as we are in this journey along the way. Have a fantastic day, and I will see you again soon. Thanks again. Bye bye.